Governor Brian Kemp this week on his third overseas trip in 6 months. He is selling the state of Georgia as a great place to do business. But these trips, of course, are not unnoticed in the political realm. Joining me now is Todd, moderator of NBC's Meet the Press. Chuck, the governor in the past few weeks has weighed in on foreign policy. And in this week's trip, he's focused in on the economy. Two key issues here for voters and nationally as well, in case he maybe someday wants to take that next step politically.
Well, I'll tell you this, right? I don't think he can run for a third term as governor, right? So, and foreign policy, well, it's good for reaching across the aisle, for reaching across overseas for business, perhaps. You know, my guess is the next office he may run for someday will be dealing more with national security and foreign policy issues. So whether that someday is 24 or 28, or who knows, maybe he wants to run for the United States Senate. Look, I do think Governor Kemp is somebody, I sort of refer to it as somebody you have warming up in the bullpen. You know, Governor DeSantis down in Florida, in many ways, had sort of earned to be the first person to try to make the case as the alternative to Trump. But if his candidacy falls flat before the end of this calendar year, I do think the next alternative up is not anybody who's currently in this field, that the next alternative up could be Governor Kemp. Because here is somebody who has won a Republican primary going up against Donald Trump. That is not something any other Republican running for president has done and can say they did. I think it's a powerful potential argument to donors, that's for sure. And if DeSantis sort of fails at this, and it happens soon enough, I could see that scenario. I think it's more likely than not. This is Governor Kemp sort of doing what we're watching Governor Newsom do in California, which is dabble a little bit as he starts to keep his eye on his next campaign, 2028.
An interesting take there, especially with the already crowded field. All right, so I want to talk about this now. It is 1 year ago this week that the Supreme Court ruled to overturn Roe v. Wade. This week, we are seeing digital ads in Georgia by national Democrats on abortion rights, clearly trying to win voters in our battleground state. So, Chuck, you'll be having a new NBC News poll this Sunday, which includes views on abortion. So without spoiling too much, without giving away too much, what are the takeaways that you have from the data that you've had a chance to see?
Well, look, on the abortion front, I think it's important to note what didn't happen in the last year. If you look at previous Supreme Court rulings that had huge impacts on our culture, I'll identify three very quickly. The interracial marriage, Roe v. Wade, the first time they dealt with abortion, and same-sex marriage. Particularly with interracial marriage and same-sex marriage. At the time of the Supreme Court rulings, a majority of the country was against them. It was against what the court did. But within about a year or two, came around, embraced it, right? Sort of saw the law get laid and realized, oh, okay, they were right. This is right. Not with this ruling of Dobbs. You've seen a move in the opposite direction. This is the first time I can remember where you see the public opinion on a ruling actually get further away from the court after a year. I think it tells you a lot about people's perceptions of the court, trust in the court. Is it really a political body now more than a judicial one? You throw all those critiques in there, but I really think it shows you we're sitting over. We have a national consensus on access to abortion. We just don't have a political consensus on it yet. So I look at it, I look at that, and I think as much as we relitigate and talk about all things 2024 and Donald Trump and this or that, what I'm taking away is that abortion is at the end of the day, may trump all of it.
All right, Chuck, and we will have much more on that poll when we all join you for Meet the Press on Sunday morning at 10. Chuck, thanks as always.